Good morning. It's Thursday, May 7th. We're going to go over our work for today, and then we're also going to talk about Friday and the weekend and some things that we can do for more learning. So, after today, if you get all of your work done, Friday does not have any new assignments. So, Friday would be a time for finishing up any assignments, any past due assignments. Or you can also do any of the choice items that we always have on our daily assignment sheet. You can do any of those choice items, anything on our blog page at Martinez Marvels Third. And you can go do the Art Hub. You can do the Reflex Math. Also, remember that it's Mother's Day on Sunday. So if you want to go to that Art Hub and learn how to make a pop-up Mother's Day card, that would be pretty neat too. Maybe be thinking about writing your mom a letter and thanking her for everything that she does for you and all the things that she does to make your life wonderful. And make sure you thank her. And then if you want to take the weekend to get all of your work in, that's completely fine. All of this is due by Sunday night. So if you need to take some time to do that, that's completely fine. If you want to finish it up today and not have to do any work over the weekend, that's fine as well. I would encourage everybody to try to do some choice things on Friday, just a little bit. I just think it's always a good idea when you have a little time and not any new assignments to be able to try some of those choices. All right, let's get into our lessons for today. So we have morning work in our morning work book on page 134. We have our spelling city test on list 28. We only have one more spelling list to do for the rest of the year. Oh, goodness, it's going by fast. Then finish any ReadWorks assignments that you've had. You can do your picture dictionary today. Go back and write your 5 words that we've done this week and draw a picture to go with them. You have your grammar prefixes test, and we're going to do writing lesson 4 in the Google Classroom for opinion writing. And on lesson 4, you're going to listen to the video, and then you're going to start your opinion draft. So we call that the rough draft, where you're going to start getting your ideas down. And then we have our math lesson topic 13, lesson 4. So lesson 13.4. We're going to go over that one. And then if you would like to get into that social studies book that you have at home and do pages 31 through 33, you can do that. You can also work in your handwriting book, your cursive handwriting packet that you had. And then, of course, choices. Whenever you do get finished with all of your things, make sure you finished all of your spelling city assignments and then your test. And once you've finished everything here, make sure that you've marked everything off on your daily assignment sheet for this week. And then have mom or dad sign the very second page and then send me the 2 pages. So it can be a picture from your phone. It could be scanned into a computer and sent, and just send it to my email. And then that will give you credit for this week. All right, let's go to our morning work on page 133. So on the first part on language, it says write a noun that functions as the direct object of the sentence. All right, we haven't gotten to this point. That's something we're still going to be coming to in grammar. And so we'll work on this together, and I bet you'll get the idea. So when we read number 1, when I get home from school, I usually eat, and then you're going to tell us what you usually eat. So it's a noun. It's the object that you're speaking about. I enjoy playing, and you can tell us what noun you enjoy playing. When I go to school, I always wear certain thing. Back when we used to go to school. Or maybe you wear a certain thing now in your distance learning. I often use blank while doing my schoolwork. So what's a noun that you can think of that you use while doing your schoolwork? Right now, most likely a Chromebook. All right, in our math, It says Connie and Monique were drawing shapes. Connie drew a quadrilateral that had 4 right angles, 4 equal sides, and 2 pairs of opposite sides that were parallel. She called the shape a trapezoid, but Monique called it a square. Which girl do you agree with? Do you agree with Connie saying that it is a trapezoid? Or do you agree with Monique saying it is a square? And why? Tell us why you think that. And on the bottom, our question to answer is it more important to Perla to follow the rules or help others? Tell why you think so. So we already know there's going to be a character named Perla. Does she like to follow the rules or does she like to help others? Which one's more important to her? All right. When Mrs. Roper told the class to form groups of 3, Perla, Raven, and Yesenia quickly sat together. Everyone had a group except for Gloria, but Ms. Roper didn't notice right away. Perla did notice. She thought about asking Gloria if she wanted to join their group, but she remembered that Mrs. Roper said to form groups of 3, not 4. As Perla struggled to make a decision about Gloria, another group invited her to join them. Mrs. Roper thanked the other group. So, thinking about Perla, do you think it's more important to Perla to follow the rules or more important to her to help others? Why do you think so? And Gloria, your name is in there today. All right. This is your grammar test. Let me see if I can. Oopsie, that's kind of small now, isn't it? Get a little better. Okay. So on this one, we want you to write the meaning of each prefix. So what does the prefix un mean? So just writing the one word or 2 words that explain what un is. What does pre mean? What does dis mean? What does re mean? Then we're going to write the word with a prefix for each definition. So not agree, what's one word that we could put using a prefix to make not agree into one word? Number 6, approve before. So which one of these prefixes could we use in a word, one word that would make the same, mean the same thing as approve before? Number 7, fold again. What prefix could we use to create one word that would explain fold again? Not afraid. So think about the ones that mean not, and which one would make a word that means not afraid. Number 9, sell again. So which one would we use to do sell again? And number 10, not certain. So what's one word using a prefix that means not certain? All right. And then if we go back to our Google Classroom, we have our opinion writing lesson 4. So on your lesson 4 today, so you're supposed to finish 1, 2, and 3, and then lesson 4, you're going to listen to her video, and then you're going to start typing your draft. Usually if you click, let's see if we can open it up really quick here. All right, so there's that first one, and then we can start typing in, our paper, start making up our paper. All right. Then we have a math lesson today. And so let's go over to that. We're in our workbook. We're doing lesson 13.4. That starts on page 691. You might want to take your page to 692 to get ready to do it with our video. So remember, you can always pause at any time that you need, you want to just do it slowly with me and have your paper with you. That would be fine. All right, here's our video.
How can you compare fractions with the same numerator? Having the same numerator is a clue you can work with.
Don't forget to look for clues. Clues lead you to answers.
Two scarves are the same size. One scarf is 5/6 orange, and the other scarf is 5/8 orange. Which is less, 5/6 or 5/8? Find out which fraction is less, 5/6 or 5/8. What is important to know before you compare fractions?
Okay, some things we need to know before we compare fractions. We need to know how many parts we're breaking each of these into. They're both the same length. So how many parts are they going to be? We need to know that the numerator is the same for this one. We need to have 5 parts, but the denominator is different on this one. One denominator is an 8, so that means each piece is worth 1/8. And then the top one is 5/6, so that means that each piece is 1/6. So let's see what else they have to tell us about that.
You need to be sure that the size of the whole is the same. How can you find 5/6 and 5/8 of the scarf? What you show. Use fraction strips to reason about the size of 5/6 compared to the size of 5/8. Divide the scarf into 8 equal parts to find 5/8. Each part is 1/8 of the whole. Show 5 of the 1/8 strips. Then divide the scarf into 6 equal parts. Each part is 1/6 of the whole. Show 5 of the 1/6 strips. Which is less, 5/6 or 5/8? Select your answer.
So it says which one is less? Which one is less? So do we think 5/8 is less, or do we think that 5/6 is less? Let's try 5/8. So we can see the size right here.
5/8 is less than 5/6. You can compare fractions that have the same numerator by reasoning about their size. What you write. Justify the comparison using symbols or words. 5/8 is less than 5/6. If the two fractions have the same numerator, the fraction with the greater denominator is less than the other fraction.
The smaller the piece.
Why is the fraction with the greater denominator less than the fraction with the smaller denominator?
Okay, so remember we talked about if we have a candy bar or we have a cake and we are going to cut that cake into 6 pieces, what if we decided instead to cut it into 8 pieces? Would the person who got the piece that was cut into 6, would they get the same size piece as the person who had it cut into 8? So we're cutting it up into smaller. You get more pieces, but the pieces will be smaller.
Because the greater denominator means the whole is divided into more parts. As the denominator gets bigger, each part gets smaller. Now you know how to compare fractions with the same numerator.
All right, we're going to go to Convince Me, and that's on page 692.
Julia says 1/8 is greater than 1/4 because 8 is greater than 4. Is she correct? Explain.
All right, so the whole number 8 is greater than the whole number of 4. But when we're breaking it into pieces, 1 piece out of 8 pieces compared to 1 piece out of 4 pieces. So let's go back to our classwork so I can mark on it. All right, so one thing we could say here, we could say, no, if Julia has 2 whole pieces that are the same size and cuts 1 hole into 4 equal parts and the other into 8 equal parts. The 1/8 part will be smaller than the 1/4 part. All right, let me get this a little smaller, just so maybe we'll see if it's going to work for us to get smaller. That has been an issue this week, hasn't it? It's not going to cooperate with us. See if I can just make it bigger. And that way you'll see the whole thing. Okay, hopefully you can see that okay. All right, let's go down to the next page. And this one says, how can fraction strips help you reason about size to find whether 4/6 or 4/8 of the same whole is greater? Okay, so if we say each, this is going to be big writing. Let's see if we can get this taken care of now. We will see if that's going to let us. I'm sort of doubtful that it's going to let us stay smaller, but okay. Yep, it looks like it's not going to. Okay, so each 1/6 strip is longer than each 1/8 strip because the 1/6 strips divide, oopsie, a whole into fewer parts. Okay, so anytime you have it broken into fewer parts, this size is going to be bigger. Let's see if we can stretch this out a little bit here. Definitely difficult when it won't cooperate with us with the size. All right. So you can pause this and write this down if you need to in yours. And then we're going to go back and make it a little smaller so we can see this one. So which is greater, 1/4 or 1/6? Draw fraction strips to complete the diagram and answer the questions. All right. So if we broke this up, let's see if doing this with my mouse makes it easier. Let's see. Much easier. Okay, and then we're breaking the other one up into 6ths. Let's do a different color. Okay. Okay, so this one here is worth 1/4. And this one here is worth 1/6. So we can see that the 1/6 piece is smaller. So we can write down over here, next to that, 1/4 is greater. Let's go to this one. Use greater than, less than, or equal to compare the fraction strips to help. So we have 3/6 and compared to 3/3. So 1, 2, 3 of these 6, are they greater than, less than, or equal to a whole piece, which is 3/3? So we know that 3/3 is a whole and 3/6 is not the whole piece. So 3/6 is less than 3/3. Okay. 4/8 and 4/6. So look here, 4/6 and 4/8 to fit on the same size. So our symbol okay, 4/8 is less than 4/6. We're going to continue doing that down here as well. So we're comparing 2/3, 2 of these thirds, to 2 out of 2, which would be the whole thing. So we know then that means that 2/2 is larger than 2/3. Number 8, 4/8 compared to 4/8. Those are the same number, aren't they? So those are equal. I skipped number 6, didn't I? Use a draw. Okay, so we have 4/4 and 4/6. So if I had 4 pieces across here, that's 1 whole. Or if I broke this into 6 pieces, we only got to number 4 out of 6. So we know that 1 whole piece is way bigger than a cut piece. So 4/4 means all the pieces are there. 4/6 means that it is not quite the whole piece. So don't let that confuse you. Even though the numerator is the same, the denominator is what decides how many pieces it's cut into. So 5/6 compared to 5/8. If you only have to cut it into 6 pieces, it's going to be bigger. 1/4 compared to 1/3. So if you cut it up into thirds and compare it to 1/4, then we know that 1/3 is larger. 1/3 compared to 1/6. So 1/6 would be even smaller. So 1/3 is greater than 1/6. 4/6 and 4/6 is equal to each other. All right, let's do these last two. 1/8 compared to 1/2. If you cut a cake into 8 pieces or cut it just in half, which one would be larger? The half piece would be larger. So 1/8 is less than 1/2. And 2/6 compared to 2/3. So if we had to cut this into 6 pieces or we had to cut it into 3 pieces to have thirds, we know that the thirds would be bigger. All right, so if you need to pause this so you can copy that down, that's completely fine too. And let's go down to page 694. All right, so it says here, James uses blue and white tiles to make the 2 designs shown here. So of course you have your color book, so that makes more sense. Each design is the same size. James says that the blue area in the top design is the same as the blue area in the bottom design. Is he correct? All right. So James is not correct, right? Because they've cut them into different pieces. Okay, so each design has 4 parts. That's for sure. We know that part. But the top design is smaller than the bottom design. Okay. That one's cut into 6 pieces, and this one is cut into 8 pieces up here. So let me make sure I've written that right. James is not correct. Each design is cut into 4 parts, but all right. The top design is smaller than the bottom design because 1/6 is greater than 1/8. All right, so this one says, Amy sold 8 large quilts and 1 baby quilt. How much money did she make from selling the quilts? So the first thing we have here, we have large quilts. So there's 8 large quilts and they're $60 each. So we have 60 times 8. Okay. So if we do the 8 times 6, that is 48. 8 times 0 is 0. And then there's also a baby quilt. So there's 1 baby quilt, and they're $40 each. And so that makes 40. Now we're going to answer. What is 480 plus, put a little plus sign in there, plus 40, and that should equal $520. That's how much they spent, or she made, excuse me. All right, number 17. Write 2 comparison statements about the fractions shown below. So we have a whole piece, we have it cut into thirds, and then we show only 3 out of 4. So there should be 4 pieces there, but they only colored or only wrote in 3, so 3/4. So one thing we could say, the whole thing, 3/3. Get from here to the right text box. There we go. 3/3 is greater than 3/4. Something we could say. We could also say 3/4 is less than 3/3. What else could we say? Could we say 1/3 is greater than 1/4? Could add that in there too. Okay. So if you need to copy that down, you can pause it, go back. You can see all of them right there. Okay. So it says, John says that when you compare 2 fractions with the same numerator, you look at the denominator because the fraction with the greater denominator is greater. Is he correct? Explain and give an example. So all of our answers today have been the same. Nope, unfortunately, he is not correct. I wonder how many of you can see why. Oh, now it's going to be tiny. Of course. Okay. All right. So know the size of a 1/6 strip is longer than the size, I wrote myself notes here, of a 1/8 strip. So 1/6 and 1/8 have the same numerator. The same numerator, and the fraction with the lesser, for the smaller amount, but the lesser denominator is the greatest number. So go back to your favorite cake in the whole world or your favorite pizza. Would you rather have a pizza that was cut into only 4 pieces, or would you rather have a pizza that was cut into 16 pieces? Because the more pieces you have to cut, the smaller each piece gets. All right. And the last one, let's see if I can get this to stretch out. Does it make it any bigger? It doesn't. Well, bummer. I was going to try that. All right. These fractions refer to the whole. Which of these comparisons are correct? Choose all that apply. So 5/6 is less than 5/8. The same numerator, but the denominators are different. 6 pieces are bigger size pieces than 8. So that one's not going to work. 1/2 is greater than 1/4. So if we cut a cake into 4 pieces, or we cut a cake into just 2 pieces, which one are we going to have more of? So we're going to take this one. Mark that. Okay. And then 3/4 is greater than 3/6. I agree with that one as well, because it's only cut into 4 pieces instead of 6 pieces. Okay. All right. And then 2/4 is greater than 2/3. Nope, that doesn't sound right. All right. Because they have the same numerator, but the denominator, they're cut into a 4 and a 3. So the 3 is going to be a bigger size. 5/6 is equal to 5/6. Well, yes, we agree with that. The whole thing plus the whole thing goes to the whole thing. All right. And then you can go into Google Classroom to get our answer key to yesterday's task cards. It'll be called answer key for prefix task cards. So check your answers there. And then I will try to include maybe Monday the answers to the grammar test, so you can check your answers on that too. But remember, your daily assignment checkoff sheet is the one that I need to have back signed. So take a picture or scan it, either way, and then send it to my email. And then on Friday, we don't have any new assignments. If you have any old ones, definitely do that. But I'd like to encourage you to go back, and we've got Art Hub for Kids, Mystery Science. You can pick anything in there you want to. Reflex Math. Number Rock songs. I had somebody ask what was the password for Number Rock today. We don't have a password because we don't have an account. So we're just watching the videos. If you want to sign up for an account, I think it costs money. But I just use it for the videos. If you want to find these same videos easier, if that's too much work on that one, go to YouTube and type in the Number Rock and then what you wanted to do on that. Storyline Online, good stories to listen to there. Go Noodle, lots of good games and exercise to do there. Starfall Reading, can read and do lots of language arts games. Keyboarding, you can practice your keyboarding skills. Same with technology. Spelling City, you could play any Spelling City game that you'd want to. Epic, you could read any book or watch some how-to videos on there. Freckle, you can play any Freckle game, and it's going to give you coins so that you can spend them on things in the little store. ReadWorks, if you want to read some more or if you haven't finished your work. Extra Math is good for math drills, just like our Reflex Math. Myon, reading some good books there. Accelerated Reader, you can always look up the book level, or you can always take an AR test if it's a book that the AR has. You can always try it. And then there's IXL. You can do any of the activities that we've marked, or any activity actually in IXL. All right, so let's check in with our to-do sheet for today. All right, looks like we've gotten everything done. So you'll find the answer key to the task cards in Google Classroom, and you'll find the writing lesson for writing lesson 4 opinion in the Google Classroom. And then if you could send me a picture of your daily assignment sheet, I will attach it to this video email as well, so that in case you've misplaced it, you can have it again to mark it. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Please take care of your mamas on Mother's Day. They're very special and they work really hard for you. And they do everything they can that's important and show that they care for you. Sometimes as a kid, that's not the right answer that you think you should get. Sometimes the best answer a parent can give you is no. So be thankful you have somebody in your life that can guide you and tell you when things are a good idea or a bad idea, just to make your journey a little easier. And that is your mama and your dad too. Your dad takes care of those things too. So we have Mother's Day coming up on Sunday. Father's Day will be in June. So that's a good time to do something special for dad too. All right, guys. I haven't heard from anybody yet about Wonder, being able to watch the movie Wonder. So I'm wondering if there's anyone who is not able to watch that movie. So please let me know if there's anything I could do to help you be able to watch that movie. And we'll discuss what we thought between the movie and the book. I'm hoping to maybe even start one more book for the end of the year. Maybe we'll start it on Monday. We'll see. And just keep working away. You can turn anything in today. You can turn it in tomorrow or Saturday or Sunday. You guys are doing a fantastic job. Parents are doing a fantastic job doing all of this teaching. I just can't even tell you how thankful I am to have this teamwork that we have for your child, and it's just going to lead to their success. So I'm very happy about that. Wish we could see each other. We're going to have to do another Zoom, and then I've got some things planned for the last week of school. So we'll work on what that's going to look like. All right. Have a great day. Work hard, get your things done, and let me know how I can help. Thank you.